It is tragic how desperate they have become. They spent their whole lives launching endless assaults on you, planning a million various schemes, conspiracies, and efforts to bring you down. Every ingenious tactic in the book, every insult possible, is designed to shatter your spirit. Despite their inadequate attempts, people have recognized that you are really one in a million. The immense energy they were dealing with was beyond their comprehension. They squandered their efforts striving to destroy you. However, all they were able to show was how extraordinary you are. Their assaults just highlight your superior intelligence in comparison to everyone else. Do not lower your brightness. The cosmic irony they are now experiencing is that every effort to damage you has only served to highlight how unique you are. You remain terrific even when others played themselves. Your eyes have been opened. The curtain has been raised, exposing what was previously concealed. The deliberate mayhem, purposeful confusion, primeval hatred, and betrayals are all intended to keep you tiny, confused, and unaware of the immense power you really possess. You were not designed to fit in with their mediocrity. As a consequence, when you wake up, you'll realize that they can't understand the cosmic instructions encoded in your DNA. Your sheer existence disturbs their comfortable illusions. They were afraid of you because of this. They attempted to break you. For this reason, they will now watch you rise in startled immobility, fake grins painted on your faces, his rage concealed behind your back. They circled you like vultures around a dead prey. They approached, daggers hidden in their outstretched hands. Because your soul cannot bear such corruption, you, with your huge heart, believed them when they professed loyalty while plotting betrayal. You devoted all of your time, energy, knowledge, and commitment. They sliced their hands, allow it to flow past their fingers, and then complained about thirst. When you poured yourself into the parched earth like holy water, they persuaded you that you were not contributing enough while taking and taking. Even in regions that seemed to be secure, you could feel the tension. They're not your folks. Your soul warned you as you stood in hallways crammed with people you knew. During conversations that should have nurtured your soul, you felt as if you were a battery hooked to lifeless equipment. You persuaded yourself, maybe the problem is me. While smiling through the spiritual suffocation, you were never the problem. You've earned a feast. You were content with crumbs when you deserved statements. You accepted murmurs because those who should have pushed for your progress were secretly afraid of being overshadowed by your brilliance. You shrunk yourself to fit into areas that were never meant for your brilliance. People who pretend to love you are the biggest hindrance to your achievement. Parents who promote doubt rather than assurance. Partners who increased your potential but slowed your advancement. Friends who were more excited about your failures than your successes. And family members who bore your name but disregarded your objectives. They characterized your viewpoint as an illusion. Your sensitivity is seen as weakness, jealousy as concern, and sabotage as protection. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to extinguish the eternal light that burned inside you, which they could not find, touch, or kill. Then came that hallowed second, when something inside you broke. They had bound your eyesight with shackles rather than your spirit or will. Enough. The cosmic warning that sounded in your brain said that the next message was only for those who answered the call. When I eventually got away from the salvia, I learned the terrible truth. Neither am gateway. Our reality is only one harvested pot among many matrices. Do you already know this information? I saw the archons, cosmic parasites that feed off human energy, laughing and menacing. You will never awaken a single soul with the unwavering belief that you have been selected and are meant for something greater. You didn't get here by coincidence. You were directed. If something in your spirit is stirring, do not ignore it. Tap join to get access to premium content, prophetic insights, and a community of purpose-driven people. This is not just a membership. It's time for you to find harmony. Take the necessary measures to become the person you were designed to be. Welcome to the chosen. Everybody should. You left with a quiet dignity that perplexed them more than rage ever could. Instead of making huge statements or demolishing bridges, they were unable to ignore your absence. Your stillness conveyed things they didn't understand. Their egos failed to fill the vacuum you left. You went into the wilderness of self-discovery alone, yet not alone. Because you realized for the first time that you'd always had great company. Cosmic wisdom led you with invisible hands. Ancestral information is encoded in your cells, and guardian forces have accompanied you since birth. It was never about hiding during the retreat, remembering who you were before the world determined who you should be. You've had this ability since birth, and the fact that acceptance from those who don't grasp your true character is a waste of money. When everything else failed, all of these elements became important to the event. Your trust, not reliance on external saviors, but genuine belief in the divine plan unfolding in your life, became the foundation upon which your feet rested. You are not an accident of creation, and the universe is error-free. Every obstacle, treachery, and tragic experience was preparing you for a mission much beyond most people's comprehension. Instead of defeating yourself, you bowed to divine instruction. Let go of your rigid ideas about how things should be, and let cosmic intelligence unveil what may be. With every step you took ahead, the road emerged under your feet. You didn't knock, and the doors opened like stars in the evening sky. Synchronicity has risen in number. You must do your best for this shift. Old identities vanish like mist in the morning. Cozy illusions vanished like rain and sweets. Their putative acquaintance past deceased, and your genuine self, unnamed, unyielding, and inexorable, rose from the hallowed ashes. An unseen wall of celestial safety has encircled you. Unseen forces diverted their shafts while plotting your demise. While you were uncovering hazards on your road, spiritual guardians indicated a safe route. You were led to pure water by divine intervention. When they poisoned the wells that were supposed to support you, your protection comes from the universe itself. Only now does it become clear how methodically your consultants arranged your trip. What seemed to be delays were really due to cosmic timing. What seemed to be incorrect words were providential rerouting, and apparent losses were required. Releases made room for what was always supposed to be yours. These challenges were not caused by coincidence or tragedy. Each one was designed to build particular spiritual muscles with each betrayal. Your discernment grew. Each rejection strengthened your independence. You learned from each loss that nothing is permanent. With the exception of your holy essence, they were preparing, not punishing you. You now get insights via active channels of intuitive knowledge rather than intellectual reasoning. Dreams include signals that obscure the distinction between wakefulness and sleep. Signs appear in patterns that ordinary minds dismiss as coincidences. Mathematically, numbers cannot repeat themselves. The lyrics of music answer unspoken questions. These are spiritual messages intended just for you, not coincidences. I knew you from before you were born. I sanctified you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Consider a lighthouse standing tall on a stormy shore, meant to shine through rather than hide from the storm. That's you. You were not designed to hide from the darkness, but rather to stand in it and become the light. You've been chosen, not because the journey would be easy, but because your spirit had been shaped to tolerate, observe, and reveal. You are not lost in the fog. You are the lighthouse that guides others home. Your intuition becomes stronger each day. What starts as murmurs and matures into coherent dialogue. What started as transitory impressions has become indisputable information around you. The barrier between worlds moves. You are becoming into a living bridge between worlds, a conduit for cosmic wisdom, and a bearer of truths that the world sorely needs but seldom acknowledges. You aren't just guessing what's going on. You can feel it in your bones, in your dreams, and in the stillness when your soul leans in and listens. The unseen forces that form reality are now visible to you, while others see chaos. You see patterns. You see truth underneath the words. Spirit is underneath form and intentions, underneath activities. You're not imagining things, darling. You are waking up. The galaxy suddenly opens up to you, like a book designed to be read with your eyes. You know it for what it is, a vast sea of awareness in which separation is the only actual illusion. A gorgeous, synchronized ocean of energy, divine wisdom manifested in many ways. Few people are selected for this degree of understanding, and even fewer have the fortitude to completely embrace it. But you, yes you possess both the calling and the guts. That's why the darkness chased you so relentlessly. That's why ordinary highways always appeared strange. That is why wearing a mask of conformity never felt right in your soul. It never fit because it was never intended to. You were not created to blend in. You were intended to break the mold. I blazed the trail and illuminated the way. And, honey, you were right on time. Seismic activity is causing things to change. birth is predicated on how they intended to destroy you. You must learn to accept yourself despite their rejection. Their abandoning helped you acquire self-reliance that went beyond conventional strength. Their fallacies heightened your judgment beyond what you could expect. Their deception demonstrated your great ability for forgiveness. Your brilliance has been separated from everything they intended to be bad. Even those who loathe you are unable to ignore the intensity with which your light now burns. They find themselves circling your light against their will, like moths driven to flame. Your statements are so strong that they silence whole rooms. Your simple presence changes the environment. Your energy disrupts effortless spaces. I'm just passing by. You are now indisputable. This is an unavoidable natural norm. The truth rises to the surface like cream separates from milk. The actual nature of previous occurrences becomes abundantly obvious. The contradiction of lies about you causes them to crumble. The manipulations become as clear as glass. Truth begins to take shape. False narratives crumble. What was done in the dark requires recognition in the light. Now with outrageously high momentum, the cosmos is working in your favor. When you can close doors that previously needed battering hammers to access previously inaccessible resources, there seem to be many more now. People who never recognized your worth are now clamoring for your attention. Opportunities that were formerly eagerly sought are now pursued with solid commitment. If your heart is full of God's blessings, let that love shine. Click this super thank you button and contribute $10 or more to plant seeds of faith that will save countless lives. Your generosity symbolizes His riches. Be a conduit for His grace and see His kingdom expand through you. This is a cosmic correction, not a chance. Good fortune. This universal rule has restored balance to a system that was before tilted against you. This is a real-time example of divine justice. This is what occurs when you fully connect to your own frequency and let the universe define its own. So what about them? Those who wanted to undermine your talent, those who rejoiced in your pain, and those who impatiently awaited your death. Nowadays, people observe from a distance, using second-hand information and screens. They can't turn a blind eye, and they can't celebrate something they've worked so hard to prevent. They ingest proof of your elevation like severe medicine. They are hovering their fingertips over contact buttons that they are no longer permitted to use. Their pride prevents them from offering an apology, so their brains practiced it. It's like wearing chilly clothes in hot weather. Regret weighs heavily on their shoulders. Every day, it becomes evident how much they have lost. The chance to join in your journey, the honor of seeing your own improvement, and the recognition of being mentioned in your acknowledgments. All of this was given up for a fleeting sense of dominance over someone who would shortly exceed them with breathtaking accuracy. Their attempts to manage your energy have failed. The same activities that formerly made you feel inadequate have now proven insignificant. The same comments that injured you now demonstrate their stupidity. The same strategies that were used to manipulate you are now exposing their limitations. They used weapons they didn't completely understand to battle an unknown force. They realized too late that the diamond they had thrown out was really cold. They admitted their unjustifiable breach of promise. Too late, they realized an advantage they had overlooked out of pride. However, agonizing realization arrives too late. They saw that they were in the midst of a unique grandeur and opted to release it rather than increase it. What could be a more blatant and obvious failure? The universal law that energy returns to its source remains unchanging. Words directed at you return to the lips that said them. When someone causes you pain, they go back to the culprits. Plans to destroy you are foiled not by your vengeance, but by a cosmic law that does not need your death. Nonetheless, they serve a divine purpose, even after death. Their resistance gave you strength. You were motivated by their mistrust. You were cleansed by their rejection. You learned from their deceit. They unintentionally became the contrast that characterized your brilliance, the darkness that emphasized your light, and the conflict that boosted your spiritual strength. You are not here by accident. Feel the pull. Tap. Join to find out the truth, your purpose, and a community that understands. This is not just a membership. It's your decision. Celestial fire illuminates the way ahead of you. Not the destructive sword, but the holy spark that rekindles, cleanses, and changes after a nuclear winter. New beginnings develop like spring blossoms, full of purpose and enthusiasm, overshadowing earlier goals. The universe itself reorganizes to meet your reawakened consciousness. The stars alter positions to brighten your path. The mountaintops offer to welcome you as you approach. Calm the tumultuous water surfaces as you go. Your actual expression corresponds to the frequencies at which the atoms of reality resonate. This is a true reality that is seen beyond the senses. Not artistic, an overdone rendition. Creation is aware of its own existence and reacts appropriately to those who radiate genuine power. Give and you will get. Good measure, put down, mix together, and then run over. Luke, consider a farmer's hands digging through dry earth, planting seeds with no rain in sight. People go by, shaking their heads and saying, nothing will grow in that soil. However, the farmer knows something that others don't. The harvest does not depend on the weather. It adheres to the faith. And when it rains, it pours. Not just enough, but more than adequate. You're that farmer. And now, treasured, the harvest season has here. You're about to start on experiences that are too deep for words and too stable to be shaken. Peace that is not reliant on external conditions, but stems directly from divine harmony. You're finding relationships that don't deplete you or need continual repair. There is no performance or shrinking, just a nice balance of giving and receiving. It feels as natural as breathing. The rooms you're entering right now energize you. They help you develop spiritually. You no longer need to bend yourself to fit. These rooms are constructed with your spirit in mind, and the dreams you kept concealed in the back of your heart. They felt too precious to be ridiculed with laughter. They're breathing now. They are rising. What you originally requested has come without issue. The things you sought are seeking you. What seemed impossible is unfolding with an unexpected grace. During those long nights when it felt like no one noticed your efforts, the cosmos was moving mountains in the background. Every seed you planted with faith is already sprouting from the ground. Doors are opening into chambers you didn't realize existed. Paths are developing under your feet, taking you to places you never dreamed. Beings are finding you, beings who connect with your ascending spirit. You are being drawn to positions of power and favor, not because you ran for them, but because your name is already on the divine blueprint. This prosperity is not a prize for grief. It is the natural outcome of living in accordance with your divine design. Financial riches, emotional fulfillment, spiritual depth, creative clarity, and relationships that nourish rather than drain. These aren't just blessings, they are your birthright. And now rivers that were briefly diverted are flowing right back to you, stronger and more abundant than ever before. Baby, this is your season. Walk through it. This way encourages you to reveal your innate value without hesitation or apology, since artificial humility is as inappropriate as arrogance. To devalue the beauty of your creation is to insult the Creator who purposefully created you. Enter your authority with deep respect for the divine manifestation you represent, not ego. You are not alone on your intended trip. Rather, you are paving the way for others to discover their own purpose. Your boldness is what offers permission. Your resilience serves as a guideline. Your metamorphosis shows what is possible when you refuse to give up. When the route slips into darkness, the highway you build with bleeding feet and a tear-stained face becomes simpler for others to navigate. You were supposed to be unique. The cosmic message resonates throughout time and space. You are necessary to the divine plan, not as a selfish need, but as a humble recognition of pure purpose. Nothing in the cosmos happens by coincidence. You have a goal that only your unique set of skills can fulfill, and your existence is not by chance, but rather an intentional manifestation of that objective. Your real design was misaligned, which is why you felt uneasy while attempting to merge in with backdrops. Your worry throughout routine chores was like a celestial GPS recalculating your present location when normal goals were achieved. The restlessness that followed was a holy dissatisfaction that led you to your true purpose. Your distinct characteristics are gifts waiting to be unlocked, not problems that must be fixed. The degree of sensitivity that seems excessive in typical conditions is exactly accurate. Spiritual knowledge, your particular mission, is best matched with an intensity that surpasses regular circumstances. Unconventional viewpoints provide answers to challenges that traditional thinking cannot address. You are now surrounded by a serene atmosphere that complements the surroundings. You've finally learned to breathe, and not only in the brittle quiet. that is determined by external circumstances, but the unchanging tranquility that comes from understanding who you are and why you are here. The stillness of that frantic inquiry that used to fill your days. What exactly is wrong with me? This is a persuasive claim. Everything around me is divinely intended to take its place. Have complete trust in your instincts. Your preparedness to obey the internal directing system has changed, but it has never failed you. When reasoning and intuition conflicted, your instincts were always correct. Your inner understanding was always true, even if it defied popular opinion. When other voices drowned out your own, catastrophe ensued. You will never underestimate the value of your internal compass. The limits that formerly characterized your life have been transcended. Previously thought to be hardwired, patterns have been rewired. We shattered cycles that were unbreakable. Previously accepted limitations have been shown to be fake. You grow out of psychological prisons created by your own preconceived notions and the expectations of others. In addition to external constraints, realize that you were selected for reasons that are beyond ordinary understanding. You become a treasure by conquering the same obstacles that made you a target. You are respected for your originality, which also makes you vulnerable. You find significance in the same sensitivity that has caused you pain, not just for yourself, but also for a world in need of the remedy that only your true self can provide. The same individualism that resulted in rejection now leads to redemption. Take pride in your knowledge. Hold on to this reality. Talk confidently based on this knowledge, while wearing the previously needed survival mask. Live freely in the magnificence of who you have always been. They went to tremendous lengths to harm you, in order to reveal your individuality. Your almighty creation's indestructibility has been shown by their futile attempts to destroy what they do not comprehend. It wasn't that they injured you. Rather, they underestimated your ability to turn their grief into the same force that has kept you beyond reach forever. There are no errors in the cosmos. You are here on purpose. Your journey has a purpose. Your suffering has a purpose. Your strength has a purpose. There is a purpose for your light. Their unsuccessful attempts to classify you revealed their optical limits, and their frantic attempts to persuade you demonstrated how little they knew. Only the weakness of their vision was emphasized by their continuous attempt to forecast you. How could they understand a cosmic force that was human? How might they use pebble measuring instruments to determine a shooting star's trajectory? Now stand in the depths of this insight. Stop shrinking. No more saying, sorry. No longer restrict your intellect to words that little minds can understand. The period of concealment is over. The days of reduction are past. The time to apologize is past. The real expression that creation has longed for since your first breath is now here. The awakening is ended. The alteration is still ongoing. Each step taken in sync moves the trip forward. The goal becomes clear. And those who attempted to dismiss, you must now confront the sobering fact that you were always the creator of a much grander story than they could have imagined. A cosmic epic in which that chapter was but a prelude to the astounding revelation of who you really are and have always been underneath the masks required for survival. The ultimate reality still exists. They went to great lengths to harm you, in order to hasten the emergence of this magnificent energy. You pushed yourself to the point where a breakthrough was unavoidable. Was their key contribution to your story? You may be able to thank them in the future,